The plot has thickened. Impact Wrestling sticking a knife in the back of AJ Styles today as they published a story basically putting it up there saying that people had been asking what is going on with AJ Styles and the rumor that he would be heading to TNA Impact Wrestling. I will say that as a Wrestling Observer subscriber, when the AJ Styles story broke about AJ and Shinsuke Nakamura as well as Machine Gun Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows were heading to WWE after Wrestle Kingdom 10, there was a part of the story basically saying that TNA was trying to sign Machine Gun Carl Anderson. TNA was trying to sign AJ Styles. I thought that basically the story was coming out when they decided that they would be moving from Destination America to Pop TV, that TNA was going to try to bring in bigger names. Basically a story has come out that TNA was now offering guaranteed contracts again instead of paying on a per date sort of deal. And basically it says that while in Nashville, AJ Styles, Machine Gun Carl Anderson, and Luke Gallows all went to Dixie Carter's house where they planned out a start date for the group. They planned out what the pay would be. They planned out merchandise. There was a handshake deal made between AJ Styles and Dixie Carter that they would be returning to the company, and because of their success as the Bullet Club in New Japan Pro Wrestling, that this would catch fire with Pop TV fans as well as Impact Wrestling fans and bring a light back to TNA Wrestling that easily, you could say, since 2005 has gone down to the point where I think 2013 is where a lot of people started to pull the plug on watching Impact. But now with this huge power play by TNA to bring in these three huge names, this is sort of it would be a big deal to them. Now it says that over the Christmas holiday, this is when basically AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, and Machine Gun Carl Anderson all broke off ties talking to Dixie Carter. There was no communication made. It was all one-sided of them trying to get a hold of AJ and not being returned. And basically, even though there was a handshake deal, as the lawyers were working on the finalized real contracts, that is when WWE stepped up and swooped in and basically signed these guys to the point where now TNA is left empty-handed with nothing to go on. I'm sure lots of stories go on like this in pro wrestling, but for TNA to put this story up on a Friday when it's well known that AJ Styles will be making his debut in WWE, honestly, to me, it comes off pretty bitter. You don't really want to spoil somebody else's surprise. I know that, when AJ was negotiating, trying to get something done with WWE, they've done this to him before. Back in 2013, 2014, when AJ became a free agent and was no longer with Impact, basically Dixie Carter made it public that Dixie and AJ were not speaking anymore, which would hurt the stock of AJ Styles, which basically I think that is when WWE dropped their offer to AJ that they were making, and that is when the door opened for AJ to go wrestle for New Japan, which was possibly the biggest break of his whole career, going over there to show off how good of a wrestler this guy was on the main event stage of a real company that wanted to be putting on big shows. AJ is going to be making his debut at the Royal Rumble. We don't really know when Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows are going to be making their debut. I'm hoping that they hold this off. There's a big surprise supposed to be coming at the NXT tapings, which are going on as we speak right now. But I'm hoping that they'll hold this off closer to maybe the NXT pay-per-view, which is going to be held WrestleMania weekend.